I'm so sad. I just finished the series again, and people ask me how many times have I read it since I was 9. The answer is I'm not sure. I think there were many attempts when I was between 10 to 12 years old where I tried to restart the whole series and only got through book 1 or book 2 or like halfway through book 3 or whatever, and I kind of just never got through all 7. But I would say if I had to give like my best guess, I'd say I've been through the actual entire series about 4 or 5 times. That's going to be my guess. And the last time I read it was 4 years ago when I put myself in self-isolation for COVID, and that was great. This time was also great. Took me about a month all up though because of obviously work and just general events in my life. But I feel so sad and emotional. Like whenever I just read the final part about their future, the 19 years after section, it's so cute. Like the fact that they have kids now, and I mean, the storyline of Cursed Child, which is the sequel, it's a play by the way. I saw it in Melbourne, is not good. Like the story is horrible, but it's just such a sweet one. And now that it is actually also 8 months out until the TV show is released, with season 1 being book 1, I'm keen. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to live up to the movies. That's obviously considered one of the best series of all time, even just Hollywood wise, but I'm keen all the same. I mean, obviously as a huge fan, like the fact that they're remaking, even though yes, okay, Hollywood really does lack originality, it's still exciting to me to see the story play out again in a TV show way and not a movie way. So I'm still keen. Like I still think that it's worth giving the TV show a chance and not boycotting it. I think it's great to see it come to life in a different way through different sets of eyes. And I just think that hopefully they do a decent job. Like I'm expecting it to hopefully, based off the trailer, be at least an 8 out of 10. That's just what I'm really, really hoping for. And being a TV show, seeing all the details that the movies missed out on in these books is gonna be insane. I just want to see more of Hogwarts, like kind of how the game Hogwarts Legacy really expanded on the actual world, and how the map is massive and goes beyond Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and goes through like all the mountainous areas and all of those exploring cave, more nature areas. And I'm just keen. Like I want to see the House Elves kitchens, St. Mungo's hospital, humanity of Voldemort, because one big difference, if you're someone who's seen the movies but not read the books, is that when Voldemort dies, he dies a very normal death. He basically just topples over from Harry's Expelliarmus curse and he's just dead. And that's obviously different to the movies, where they made it a little bit more drama and made his body kind of break into little pieces and float. But in the books, it's meant to say, in the end, Voldemort was Tom Riddle. He was just a human who basically split his soul to the point of just looking and acting super evil. And he actually was just a nobody. Like he thought he could be all powerful and rule over everyone. And in the end, he couldn't. He failed. And so I find that, as well as many other of those little nuances you get from the books and not the movies, to be great. But I completely understand when you're trying to translate the words to the movie, it's hard because, to be honest, a lot of dialogue is in the books when they're meant to be in more action fighting scenes. So even before Harry kills Voldemort, they actually have this huge conversation in the Great Hall of Hogwarts and people are watching, but in the movies they were in the courtyard and nobody was watching. So it's super different. I completely understand that as movie makers, they want to make it have a bit more flair. So I get that, but I'm just keen to see how the TV show adapts it. So end of an era until I obviously next feel like reading this again. I always just sometimes get this urge, and for me this time around it was definitely the TV show trailer that made me be like, time to read again. But when I was 21 and reading the series last time 4 years ago, I had not read the series through since I was a tween, because as a teenager, I just thought to myself, like, why would I be into that? It's for kids, it's whatever. But it just gives me so many memories, feelings, nostalgia. It's just so sweet. Like, I just love the Harry Potter series. So anyway, wanted to include this part because I can't believe I've just finished it again. Like, I'm definitely gonna be sad reading non-Harry Potter books now.
I think that's one thing that... That's good. Between the movies? The third level.
No, not really.
Do you want me to cut it? Then, if we had a gravy, I'd just...
You will have somebody come and visit.
How did that feel? Don't you? Enough, Uncle!
Comfortable, can we... 31,000 Ks on it. It's 15 grand.
Or any director's attempts to make something out of her book played some part in each of them.
I completely forgot about this. It's been 40 minutes. Just while I'm waiting for these to dry, this week has just been a nightmare. Definitely the worst by far this year. And I just did my guest deep clean of the house. We've also had an ant infestation for a while, and I noticed they were climbing all over the bathroom windows and I've never seen them there. So I was like, oh my gosh, is that where they're coming through? I am just like so cooked. So today the plan is to now take a break and have lunch, which will be fairy bread, because technically breakfast was the fried rice that Bill started. And after that, get my work from home routine done. So that's just devotionals and stretching, then admin. Then the plan is that I try on a dress for my friend's wedding that I'm bridesmaid for, because the underslip arrived because the material of the dress was quite thin, so I have to try it on with that so my undies don't show. And then I'm gonna cook. I'm going to try and do a noodle soup with meat and veggies for our guests tonight. One's pregnant, so I'm just trying to be really careful, and I really just don't like cooking. I'm also not used to it. I'm out of practice because Bill's been cooking almost always. But I literally just can't deal. It doesn't look like he's going to be off crutches for the weekend either. He's napping right now because he only feels better after a nap. And everything is just crazy. It's too late to cancel any of our plans. He's going to have to go to all of them on crutches. But yeah, the main problem has been not having his help. I didn't realize how much I relied on our designated housework to really feel like I was being productive. Like every day I could finish work and I could clean and I could rely on him to provide the food and do the bins, and the bins are nearly full. Going to try to avoid that because that's a guy's job. And I'm just feeling very frustrated today. I feel like I'm having more of an annoyed, irritated day. I just feel like every little thing is annoying me, and that's why I think Bill is relieved that he's napping, because he doesn't have to put up with me being mad. And I just feel angry about everything because this is the 10th time since we've been together that his ankle has flared. And so even though I'm really glad that we are going to book the surgery now and try and actually get it done in the next few months, obviously that also means recovery and me helping again. And I try to remember the vows of in sickness and health. That's what I vowed to do when I married him, to keep loving him and to keep being by his side. But it's so hard. He slipped up while I've had health issues, and now it's vice versa. Like, it's just, everything is accumulating into me being mad about the past 9 days of my life, and everything is just really irritating me.
Into the books. Even the most ardent Potterheads, I think, admit the bad and protest the lot together. Which isn't to say we shouldn't criticise at all, but I think
the dust has settled on the beloved Harry Potter films, and the legacy left behind.
Yeah. Do the chicken as well.
This one?
I mean, you can do that alone almost. Then oil.
cute.
Digital stuff like this
Yeah.
sending the invite.
Vacuum cleaner.
And I'll recommend the best ones at each price.
And it's not anywhere else besides when I saw the. Ugh. And the blanket's uneven again. How does that blanket just go to the floor? Like, shouldn't it be fitted for this bed? Sure. Do you want me to give you your crutches?
It's good weather today.
You may have only seen the first film because of its cultural. Which glorify the waves of light flowing from the tip.
This is a formal welcome to this video, and I thought I'd also do an update on me being off Instagram and only going on when I need to for my laptop. I originally started this method style of video because I was obviously off Instagram and I wanted to still be creative. So today was the first day I scrolled through my feed and actually thought, oh my gosh, I would love some nice photos and videos of myself, and like, you know, just the feeling of dressing up and wanting to make content using like your face or outfit and your appearance. But one good thing I've noticed being off Instagram is that I've been a lot less superficial. You guys know I've always shown my bare actual face on here, which is why I do the acne close-ups as well, because I just want to be raw and real on YouTube. But with Insta, it's a lot harder. It's so much more easy to be like, I need makeup, I need to look good, I need the lighting, I need to like just be superficial when I'm on there. And that's definitely something I've noticed that was one of the first traits to go, like how much I thought about my looks. And I still think about looks, don't get me wrong. Like I still look in the mirror, I still feel really unconfident when I get new pimples, and I still definitely scrutinize my appearance a lot. But it's definitely not as much on the forefront of my mind in an ego manner. In fact, I think whether for better or worse, when I've been off Instagram, I've been able to see my face for what it is, and I've actually been a bit more critical. Whereas when I'm on Instagram making a lot of content and dressing up a lot, I think I'm actually more confident about how I look, which feels ironic. Like I wish I could come on here and say to you, oh my gosh, guys, no Instagram means I'm less superficial and I don't compare myself as much, so I'm actually more confident now. But it's actually the other way around. Like I actually kind of feel like being on Instagram made me more sure of my appearance. And now that I don't care as much and it's not as much in my mind, I'm actually less egotistical about it. Like even just a month ago, I was literally so, oh, I'm feeling myself. Oh, I'm feeling hot today. I need the photos. I need the videos. And like now, just a month later, I'm so much more like, oh my gosh, my acne, oh, my skin, oh, even when I wear makeup, I don't even look that much better. Like, I hate myself with glasses, but I've run out of contacts. Don't feel like putting effort into my appearance. Like, why do I look and feel so bad today? Like, I actually feel a little more negative, and I wish I could say it's not like that, but it kind of is. And tomorrow is actually going to be the first time I'm dressing up for a long time because I'm going to the Epicurean Crown Buffet, and I'm not going to wear a new outfit or anything. I'm going to wear a very simple dress that I've worn before, but it will be cocktail dress code sort of. So like it would definitely be my first time kind of dressing up for a long time. We'll see how I feel about, will it give me the confidence boost to want to take a lot of photos, or will I be more on the wary side of like, nah, I've just been without Instagram for a while now, I don't need that. I don't know. Like, just a little update of my thoughts of me without Instagram and how it affects how I see appearance, because that's a big one for me. I find that I've like really cared more about my appearance as I've gotten older, which is really funny because you'd think that I would care more, say, as a teenager, but I actually care more as an adult. And it's just interesting how life goes sometimes. It just goes sometimes the way that you don't think it will. And yeah, I feel like I was a lot less superficial when I was younger. I actually feel like I care more now. But having said that, it's definitely not so in my mind, in my face, without having Instagram like on my phone. And today was the first day scrolling through my feed on my laptop that I really kind of felt it more of like, ooh, I kind of feel like that need to dress up and take photos again. And I'm actually having my best friend come over this Monday to do makeup with me because she is doing makeup content. So I'm going to model for her. So obviously I can get back into it. Maybe I can even post from that, who knows? But these are just my current thoughts of where I feel like my mindset when it came to makeup and how I looked was so different just a month ago. Like, it's crazy how much a month can just change your mindset and your feelings on something. Follow her on Facebook, and then she's always talking about Melbourne. And I was like, wait, what? I kept getting confused. Last pair left. I actually edit a bunch of clips at once consistently so that by the time it gets to around the 25-minute mark, I can basically compile it as the final copy. But last night I happened to be playing through what I've edited so far, and turns out I had somehow not saved the very first clip. It was completely unedited of this video of me talking about Harry Potter. So sometimes there's going to be editing mistakes where I put the wrong unedited video into the final one, if that makes sense. So apologies if that ever happens. I know it definitely has when I've looked back on previous videos, but just in case people notice the errors happen multiple times, that's why. I'm hoping this contact sits right today because it has to be survivable until night. I'll bring glasses so I can drive home in the dark because my contacts are not the best for my astigmatism, meaning that when I'm driving at night, all of the lights from street lamps and other cars basically go really blurry and they kind of look like they have a bunch of rays around the lights. So I usually have to bring around glasses, particularly if I'm driving at night. But I'm hoping they last all the way till night. It's 8 a.m. right now and I basically need them to last till 9 p.m. So that's a solid 13 hours. So let's see if it survives. I swear if next week is as tough as this one was, I'm gonna flip out. Unfortunately, overnight, Bill actually felt a new sort of pain in his ankle that he hasn't felt before. So even though we are doing the surgeon consultation this Friday, it doesn't mean that we're gonna be able to do a surgery anytime soon. Depends on his and our availability. It obviously needs to be a significant chunk of time to allow him to be able to walk again and for us to be able to host and go out again. So it's not going to be pleasant, but I'm just really hoping that it can actually solve everything, because that was the big question that obviously we're not asking for a guarantee about, because there's always going to be a risk going into surgery. But it is something that we kind of just wanted to be answered by a doctor, like just for someone to say to us like, yeah, this surgery is really worth it. You won't have to be on crutches anymore at least once a year. Bill on crutches is like his version of my vertigo. Like it's like his ultimate health issue. So for me, it's definitely managing the stress so that my body doesn't even go anywhere near being dizzy. But it's so uncontrollable, like it's just tough. It's hard having health issues and like you're young, so like people expect you to not have any, but Bill's injury is from a decade ago. Mine is purely from when I'm super stressed. So yeah, it's just like, it is what it is. Like sometimes we just get these ailments. Just swirling my concealer because I already packed away my foundation for later today, so I'm not going to use any this morning. I'm just now going really close to the under eye so that there's no gap between the eye and concealer. Obviously, this is a really small brush. I just have this thing where like I like to use like kind of my brushes in order. So I kind of just like use the smaller ones to do like the spreading, and then I'll go back in and I will actually like blend it in properly with a bigger brush. This one's obviously not massive, but it can at least help to neaten everything. Last night we watched Kung Fu Panda 4 and it's actually really underrated. It came out a couple years ago, I think amongst the same time that Jack Black had a controversy with his bandmate, so I think it didn't end up doing well, but me and Bill decided to give it a chance and we thought to ourselves, oh, this is definitely going to be mostly a 6 out of 10, it's not going to be good. And then when we actually watched it, we were like, wow, this deserved more. I mean, don't get me wrong, like sequels 16 years after the first movie are definitely just cash grabs, so I know that, but it was actually a really good story. I felt like they really put effort in and they had more famous Asian actors than they did in 2008 for the first movie. And yeah, it was like actually pretty good story-wise, villain-wise, like everything like, yeah, really worked out as like a pretty normal, like standard successful movie. And yet it obviously didn't do that well, which is pretty sad. I think it definitely deserved better. So if you're someone who's been skeptical about the very last Kung Fu Panda, just watch it. It's actually an 8 out of 10 to me. I genuinely thought it was worth it, and I thought it was very like, yeah, just like good. Like they put the effort in, the story was good, the characters were good. It wasn't perfect, but I think for a cash grab sequel, it was actually good. So I was very surprised, pleasantly, of course. And they had most of the people back, like his dad and adopted dad's voice actors were back. Unfortunately, no Furious 5, because I'm assuming a budget to get people like Jackie Chan would be off the charts. But it was definitely like actually a really sweet and nostalgic movie, but not nostalgic in the really cringe cash grab way. It was like I just felt naturally nostalgic. Like I remember watching Kung Fu Panda in the movies with my family. It was one of the only movies my mum has been able to stay awake for in her lifetime, because she's not a movie person. She just falls asleep whenever they're on. And I remember my whole family enjoying it. It was like one of the first times that Asian culture and Kung Fu was in Hollywood. And it was like, wow, like this is so crazy. Like it was funny, it was original, like it had action, it had really famous actors. It was just like really good. And so I actually had a bit of that nostalgia watching it last night. So I definitely think Kung Fu Panda 4 is actually worth it. I am visiting my old church, my childhood one, for the first time since I went for a couple friends' baptisms a couple years ago. That was when I was like a year into attending my current church. So it will be my second time in total of going back to my childhood church.